Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday and cards. I'm going to talk about a couple different things. Aren't they adorable? They're white things. They're really super simple to do, you guys. I do have some tips. Today, of course, I'm doing them in the embroidery machine. So obviously, you need some card stock. Kimberbell has cards. This is the small size here, and then kind of in comparison to the large size, there's two sizes. All of these are basic size, A6 and A7 technically. The A6 and 7 are pretty standard cards, kind of a 4x6, 5x7, not quite, but close enough. Depending on how much embellishment you throw on your cards could change the price, certainly. But if you don't tidy the inside, you would see the back of the embroidery. But you can cover them. We've got ours covered here with fabric that pulls from the colors on the front. This could also be a pretty piece of paper, or it could be a solid piece of stabilizer. So fabric on the back with fusible web or two-sided tape or glue stick, whatever you have handy. I'm gonna give you my best tips for making a card. When you open your CD, the directions tell you that you would like to use a tearaway stabilizer. However, tearaway does, just like paper, tears, and by stitching it, we are weakening the paper, and so it will tear easy, and so does the stabilizer. All right? So, in my opinion, they are not friends. You can absolutely do it with this. I have done it with this. I've made cards in many different ways. And then there's the one that I prefer for card making, which is Stable Stick Cutaway. And it seems like a really big roll, bigger than most stabilizer rolls. However, it's because there's paper and stabilizer, so it makes this roll thicker. 10 inches wide, this one, by 10 yards. That's perfect for the hoop I'm using, which is a 5x7 hoop. Both designs sizes fit in there quite nicely, and that would be my recommended hoop size. This is a cutaway, and you can see you can tear it, but you have to put your whole life into tearing that. When you're doing those stitches through the paper, you've perforated and weakened the cardstock. So the reason I believe we need the cutaway in there is because stitches don't weaken it. As you can see here, I sewed this, and if this was a tearaway, this would easily perforate and tear right through here. If you've had any little knot incidents or any little issues with the stitching, the cutaway stabilizer will continue to hold your paper together, which in my opinion is valuable. And the reason I like the sticky back is when you put that in the hoop and you go to lay the card in, the card sticks in place, because you can't baste your card in place, right? If you put a basting stitch down, you're going to put unnecessary holes in the card. You might even interfere with the beautiful pattern that you have. So you can't baste the card like you would baste a piece of fabric. And since these are floating on top of the stabilizer, having this as your sticky, bring my card into the hoop. I'll stitch out that baseline that shows me where the card belongs, and then I would lay it in there. Oops. Always remember to put make it teepee. So when you put the basting line down, put the card down, It's in the hoop. It won't shift now when you're embroidering. And then you can safely embroider, because too many people are holding their fingers in the hoop, and then you get stitched fingers, other little problems. You might actually inadvertently get knocked by the needle bar, and then you shift the card, and there's no recovering. Once you put the hole in the paper, it's there forever. And then this stuff is sticky enough to hold it for the entire embroidery session, and then it will just gently peel off. So this is what the card will look like in the hoop. This one was the last one I did. So you see it's still sitting in my 5x7 hoop. The attachment for the embroidery arm is right here. And so the excess is out to the left of the machine, because you don't want that banging around in the neck. So that's just for good, clear reference. Let's just show you what that would look like. So the hoop would be in here. You don't want the card up over here, because it would crunch it and squish it. And you don't want to do anything that might cause crumpling or squishing, because it's paper and it will never recover. This is it removed from the hoop. You can see it now. That's this part sticking up. And in this one, I just used a plain cutaway. So that would be your next least expensive option, is just plain cutaway. I would rather see you use plain cutaway if you feel that the price of stable stick cutaway is a little out of your budget, because it is more money. Would they work in a 6-needle machine? Absolutely. You just have to hoop it the right way with the right stabilizer, and anything you do on a single needle can be done on a multi-needle. Anything you can do on a multi-needle. Not necessarily can you do it on a single needle, because multi-needles have different hoops. So there was initially a basting line that told me exactly where to put that card so that everything lined up. And I'll give you just a kind of brief rundown about setting things up. But when we're done, we want to trim that stabilizer out. And so you want to be careful not to crumple the card. So I folded it back so I could easily get access to it. And I want to get that stitching line off there. Often for me, it's a color that doesn't exist in the embroidery. It was whatever the last thread was from the last thing I did will be what I do the bounding box or the placement line. If you want to, you can actually ever so gently get in with scissors and cut to the shape of the embroidery. It doesn't have to be a square, it could be rounded off. Just the trick is to not bend the card while you're taking the stabilizer away. So often I would say, if you're going to go with straight lines, keep the card on the table, lift the stabilizer up, and just slide your scissors through there. And then we can put that down. And then this is not so super pretty. And as I showed you in the earlier cards, you can take another a piece of cloth. We put fusible web on ours, and we fused them in place on top of the junk. You can also grab a pretty piece of cardstock, wrapping paper, last year's Christmas card, and cut the card up and put it over there. The machine that's here with me today is a lovely entry-level machine with a 5x7 hoop. If you can get a machine with a 6x10 hoop, I can tell you that you'll be happier longer, but at least getting a 5x7 would be your friend. If you have an embroidery machine at home, that's what you need to do cards. We're happy to try to get you what you need. So if you can't find it online, let me know what you're looking for. I probably have it. I literally have thousands of OESD CDs in stock. That's it for today. Making Christmas cards. Some tips and tricks from me to you. Tomorrow we're going to have Miss Barb come in, and she's so for any of you that I have not convinced that you need an embroidery machine yet, tomorrow we're doing arts and crafts with Barb. We're going to make Christmas cards with Barb tomorrow differently. You know, some cutting, some pasting, some glue, some glitter, that sort of thing. So tune in tomorrow. And as you know, she's super creative. I love how her brain works. So it'll be just as much, if not more fun tomorrow, because it doesn't even involve a sewing machine or electricity. So as always, be kind, be calm, be safe. Be happy we can stay home and isolate. I'm willing to throw an online sale when we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube. That gives everyone a gift, which I think is awesome. And we'll still throw in some sort of gift, because I did say that. I certainly wouldn't want to go back on anything I've ever told you, especially something within my control. Anyway, you guys have a fabulous Thursday. I think it's not so hot out today. Might be nice to have dinner on the patio. See you tomorrow.